too. God, you guys are even better looking than last time. But seriously, how many of you guys were here last year? Right? You know, way back before we were certainly super duper positive that this guy named Barack Hussein Obama was going to be our president. But here we are. Do you remember that busload of young adults from my South Bronx? I had the privilege to ride down with them last year, and I know the experience touched them deeply. Are any of you guys here this year? Oh, yeah! Anybody else from the South Bronx? Any of you from places like the South Bronx? Anybody from where there are oil refineries near the Gulf Coast? Or any place where it's easier for you to find asthma, diabetes, or handguns as opposed to healthy food and clean air? And for those of you that are from beautiful, pristine places, good, because I gotta tell you, to have you all here and converging in one room, because there are so many people out there that will say that this cannot be done, that y'all don't really talk like that you will not get together for a real big purpose like that. And I am so happy to be in front of you. Oh my gosh, it's like it get me all like phlegm and stuff. It really is remarkable, because I so desperately want you all to be nothing short of remarkable. And I need you to be ambassadors of a really simple and very, very important idea, and that's when we treat people equally with regard to their local environment, the global environment will benefit also. If power plants, landfills, waste facilities, sewage plants, mountaintop removal, oil refineries were located near more affluent people just as quickly as they were near poor ones, we would have had a clean and green economy a long, long time ago. But the South Bronxes, the Appalachias of the world, these concentrations of oil, transportation, and electricity infrastructure keep us burning and wasting material as well as people. And these are the major point sources for greenhouse gas emissions. I did grow up poor, as you saw in the video, and in the South Bronx, and I know too much about this from firsthand experience. And at one time, people would walk to work in my neighborhood, to their manufacturing jobs. Americans of all colors made things the rest of our city and our country wanted. People lived near where things were made. People bought things that were made by people that lived nearby. Imagine that. My neighborhood used to be called Little Pittsburgh, believe it or not, because of all the steel produced there. And hello, Pittsburgh, all right now. And other stuff was produced there, food, clothing, made by people nearby. This happened all over the country. It was not all sunshine and lollipops and rainbows, however. Some tension and even tragedy happened as we worked really hard to craft some of our country's labor and environmental laws. And we really should be proud of that. But as manufacturing went to places with no labor rights and few environmental protections, the processes got dirtier, abroad as well as here. Because when it comes to poor people, whatever the color, standards are lowered by our regulators, our politicians, and even our indifference, and our collective ignorance as to how pollution-based economies are subsidized on the health of poor people. For instance, a salad travels 2,000 miles generally by the time it gets to your plate. It's poor people who pay first for the effort through the polluted air that they breathe as the trucks are transported through, that the power and also the power plants that are refrigerated, that refrigerates the stuff, are nearby them. What you don't eat is actually wasted or incinerated and put into a landfill in another poor community. They pay first, but we all pay sooner or later. And the world is getting hot, flat, and crowded. I want to tell you guys a little story. Not long ago, I actually had the honor of sitting on a panel about sustainability with the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And he is one powerful, oh man, my gosh. And you know, it was very soon after the election, and the whole room was just glowing, you know, with the fact that Obama had won. And he looked out at the crowd and acknowledged that, and that we should be happy. And then he said, well, and he asked us, like, have any of us wondered what was going on in the White House around that time? And you could just feel the tension in that room among those who wanted to, I mean, who really wanted to care about what was happening with W, frankly, you know, except we were worried about what kind of damage he would do on his way out the door. And I swear, if Bush had happened to show up, we easily could have turned into a mob. Like, it was not pretty. But the good bishop went on and said, you know, Bush had the lowest opinion ratings of any American president ever. You know, while world leaders are cheering Barack, they're not even shaking his hand publicly. And Tutu said, a tear should be rolling down our cheek for that man. And I felt a pain in my stomach when he said that, because I knew it was true. Bush had done some terrible, terrible things that we're going to pay for a long, long time through his blatant disregard for people that he thought were less valuable. But why would we want to follow in the footsteps of someone who dismissed and devalued people and our planet the way that he did? So to paraphrase Frederick Douglass, oppression is as bad for the oppressor as it is for the oppressed. Nobody should be sacrificed. Nobody. That's the beauty of all of you. We can be better than that because we must be better than that. And I tell you that story because the stakes are that high. I am deeply grateful that we have a president that actually does kind of make us feel all warm and fuzzy about the green stuff that we really care about. But I gotta tell you, we should also have our guard up. Because there are also those that desperately want us to fail. And there are those that, and I believe unwittingly, are helping to not managing expectations about how green will grow, so that can be just as damaging. Yes, of course, there's the big coal, the big oil, the big agriculture guys that are profiting from the pollution-based economy. We all know that. But the things that scare me more are the people that are sort of saying things like, I gotta tell you, I get questions a lot now, like, from people that really should know better, like, so, how are green jobs going to help the crack addicts? They aren't. There are other problems that need to be dealt with first in their lives. But green jobs are not this panacea for everything that ails society. But if folks put that kind of pressure on them, when one little thing goes wrong, it's not like we're going to receive the kind of support that the automakers did. So we need to make sure we're managing expectations. My other personal fave is, since these green jobs have never been tested, why should our country invest with invent? You know, it's not like you can't do lovely things like, you know, alleviate poverty and remediate the environment at the same time, you know, and when you think about the fact that logic defied, you know, all of that we put so much of our tax-based eggs in a Wall Street basket. But we're not going to have that. So we need to make sure we're doing some really smart stuff. And you guys are the ones that are going to need to help Obama make sure that we're in this for the long term. Because we need you to make the case that the green is the best that we have, because it can accomplish so many things. It provides multiple benefits with the same dollar. And that's how we want to bring this home. And there will be some trial and error, because there always is in life. But even our mistakes are going to result in more lives being changed for the better, as opposed to the status quo that we have right now. So my husband and I actually have decided that, made the decision that we're actually not going to have children of our own. And I bet clearly some of you probably know the reason. A child born in this country uses more resources than any child born on this planet. So it's our sort of version of reducing our carbon footprint. But so instead we'll adopt a whole beautiful brood of foster and adoption kids, and I'm really happy about that. God, it feels nice to actually say that publicly and not feel bad. Thank you. So, as you can tell, I'm not like a huge fan of passing down my genes, but I am incredibly, incredibly serious about the opportunity of the well-being of the next generation. And I have a huge desire and capacity to be loving and respectful toward the children that will grow into the young adults and will therefore be the adults that I hope to God will do better than we did. So when I look out at the audience and I see all your beautiful faces, I see you all for what you have already accomplished. What all the beautiful hell you're going to raise over these next couple days. And what you're going to do with the rest of your lives to make this world a better place. I am so glad and I am so honored that I actually helped clear a little bit of a path for you all to walk through. And I'm even more excited about what you guys are going to be doing in the future, because you know what, you guys are the ambassadors of our future, and this is the green thing that we've all been waiting for. And we are in the Obama era, but I got to tell you, it's not just Obama the president. Obama is an acronym for, it means officially behaving as magnificent Americans. So I'm counting on you all to help push for green jobs, that are made and kept in America. Let's build a national grid to encourage renewable energy, right transmission, distribution in the businesses. Let's build horticultural infrastructures that actually cool our cities, that actually lower energy costs, that mitigate stormwater, that restore wetlands, planting green roofs, and all that good stuff. And how about we start putting windmills up on the reservations in the Midwest and stop cutting off the top of mountaintops to get coal out of it. We are smack dab in an environmental and economic crisis, and we do need to be really serious about it. We can't sugarcoat that stuff. We really can't. We had a rough 8 years, but just understand that we can meet that with love and compassion, because all our brothers and sisters are going to need us like we've never needed us before. But also remember that it was in the dire straits of the Great Depression and the rise of international fascism that we got the Great New Deal, Social Security, and a whole bunch of other stuff that our prior generations benefited from, that we also benefited from as well. So please remember, guys, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. Thank you. Much love.